Hello, it's me, it's Carson, and Scoobity-Doo, Shibbity-Bee. Enjoy the music, the epic music in the background. I appreciate you watching. We're going to dive right into it. I just want to dump my thoughts on Chocolate Edition, and I'll say outright right now, go play it. It's awesome. It's a great flavor that remixes the vanilla experience of Baldur's Gate 3. I played on Honor Mode. I played this on Honor Mode. I didn't even multi-class. I had 4 distinct characters. 2 of which, a Paladin and a Ranger, were very remixed, had a really good rework to them. I loved it. So it's a great flavor. I'll kind of go over some important stuff, and with the cool stuff, I'm going to kind of highlight. I can't remember everything. I didn't take notes for this. I'm literally just remembering all the cool things and dumping my thoughts out. So let's get right into what it is first and foremost. If we look at no mods, the original vanilla experience of BG3, this would be a different flavor. It's an overhaul mod that's going to touch on a lot of stuff and remix the feats, the classes, the subclasses, the spells, and much more. Obviously, standouts here are, I already know what the best feats are. Now you don't, because some absolutely work differently. Great Weapon Master has been totally, not totally changed, just reworked, but Sharpshooter is a totally different feat, for instance. And a lot of feats are now half feats, right? So there's just way too much to get into. I don't even know all the changes. There's a whole video on this. I just discovered a lot of this blindly playing through an Honor Mode run. So in-game mod manager, if you're just already interested, just go search Chocolate in-game, hit the install button. It's available for PC, so go play it now. And console friends, Creative Excuses Gaming, shout out to the mod maker. He's trying to get it approved for you guys too, and then we can all have fun playing on crossplay. I used some other cosmetic mods with it just fine, by the way, so I just want to let you know that, but nothing that changed like core gameplay, because this is an overhaul mod that touches a lot of things and I wasn't aware of what's going to conflict, so be careful. I largely went in blind. Like I said, there's a whole video that Creative Excuses Gaming made for his mod that can detail all of that. I don't like that. I mean, I like that he made that. I don't like going into something knowing everything. I wanted a fresh experience. Maybe you do too. And I don't know everything. I'm not here to cover it all. I'm not even here to really judge it, whether it's good or bad. I just think it's great. I had fun with it. And let's start with Paladin, because Paladin was one of the classes that really got overhauled. Probably one of the most reworked. It's really not terribly different. The big difference is how Divine Smite works. You'll notice there is no reaction tab. There's a little toggle over here behind the notes. I guess I'll show it to you real quick. Here we go. So there's a little toggle here. You will have to commit if you want to go in with a smite. So right now I have just basic damage. If I toggle it, now I got Divine Smite damage. All right, so let me put the notes back up. Follow along with me. Here we go. So basically there's a toggle button. It's now going to not use spell slots, but the new reworked Channel Oath charge system. This is now once per long rest. You get resource, more you invest in Paladin, okay? And this also, the damage of your Divine Smite does passively upgrade at a higher Paladin level. I think it's 5 or 6. Creative can correct me in the comment section. But Smite spells are actually just better now as well. They have either upgraded damage, which I think also gets better if you're a higher level Paladin, but I don't remember specifically. I just know that these don't have concentration anymore. The ones that do upcast, like Searing Smite, are a lot easier to use because you're not blowing your concentration. Branding Smite, for instance, is super annoying with its concentration. That's gone. And this does upcast, and Branding, yet again, can still use like a ranged smite build. But anyway, I digress. The point is there's no more concentration. Some were upgraded in damage. Not all are upcastable, just like in the vanilla experience, but they feel better here overall, right? And the Channel Oath charges, like I said, is a reworked resource system. So instead of short rest getting only 1 Channel Oath, the more you invest in Paladin, the more you get on long resting, right? So it's just like a normal spell slot resource almost. More Paladin levels, the better, the more you can do with this. And some Channel Oath charge spells, or whatever you want to call them, like Vow of Enmity, they don't even use the Channel Oath ability anymore, whereas something like Inquisitor's Might is better now. It lasts 5 turns, but it still uses a Channel Oath charge. It's now competing with a Divine Smite usage. So I find that really interesting. I like that, right? So I played a dedicated, like, this was all in on Smite. I even named my guy Smite. Okay, I was a Vengeance Smiter. I didn't multi-class, and I had a lot of fun. It was great. It was powerful. We'll get into feats, but I could fly ever since it was level 2. I get a feat at level 2 on every character, and I could fly around. So I was just like, I'm feeling like angelic Vengeance Smiter. It was so much fun. So you can still double smite. If you don't know this trick, you would use a spell smite. And then with the new toggle system, I would have the Divine Smite on top of that damage. And so I could do big radiant damage or smiting damage, right? So with this combination, you can really dish out a lot of damage. Smite makes right, but my overall impression is I think this is, in this edition, the strongest way you can run smiting. I might be wrong about that. I only played it once, but from what I understand about builds in the vanilla experience, when you do something like this, you give me incentive to stay in the half-caster, in the Paladin, right? This no longer competes with my spell slots. I effectively get a couple of free spell slots that are dedicated to one thing, smiting, right? I free up what I can do with these spell slots. I feel like whether I'm going to be a smiter or just a paladin, I can always have the option to smite with this resource, and my spell slots as a half caster can go elsewhere, like Misty Step or Haste or Hold Person or hell, even Hunter's Mark, right? So I just find that this was a really cool rework. I don't love it or hate it any more than vanilla. I love Paladin. It's a class I've 180'd on, and here it just feels even just as great, but also better in different ways, right? It's awesome. Ranger, let's jump over to Ranger real quick. I tried to play a very generic ranged Ranger build, right? Probably the most reworked class overall. The biggest system is now Instinct. And again, it's not so much that it's different, rather that it's upgraded, just like Paladin. Paladin is more of a remix. This is more of a flat up upgrade, in my opinion. And it happens to be because of the Instinct system. This is another long rest resource. You could think of it as unique spell slots for the more Ranger-esque spells like Lightning Arrow, Conjure, Barrage, Hail of Thorns, but you also have Cloud of Daggers and Ice Knife here. So, long rest resource, cast certain ranger spells, right? Conserves on spell slots, so you could use these for the more typical spells like Healing Word, Hunter's Mark. I know that's the ranger spell, but hear me out, right? Something like Divine Favor, maybe whatever other spells you took, like maybe Call Lightning, and plant growth and all that stuff, right? So one instinct spell can be used per turn, which does make, you might argue like, well, doesn't this give you full spellcaster slots? Sure, but there's limitations on what you can use them on, and it's once per long rest, and you can only use these once per turn, even if they give you extra attack. So upcastable on certain spells like Hail of Thorns. All right, that's pretty cool. So I can use 3 instinct to get to a level 3 version of Hail of Thorns. That's awesome. And then there's just more spell options, kind of pulling from the Druid spell list here. So we have something like Healing Word. From the Cleric spell list, we have the ability to get Divine Favor if we choose that perk, that favored enemy or whatever. We even have Moonbeam now. We have Call of Lightning now. So there's a lot of really cool stuff we can do with our spell slots, just like our Instinct. So way more options. We can even have access to Thorn Whip, which was changed to a bonus action. I use this all the time to pull people into Cloud of Daggers or something. So we used it way more than I thought I was going to. We have access to Cloud of Daggers, which I don't know why we didn't have that already. So that's a great choice. And yeah, Call Lightning was a big surprise, but I guess if you can shoot out a lightning arrow, you should be able to call some lightning. Okay, so perk. The perk choices I'm talking about, like favored enemy or whatever. Okay, a really crazy one is grease bottles and water bottles. You get a little bit, like 4 a day after long resting. Dude, I love grease bottles. Super underrated. Like, just to have an ability to just throw these out there once per day and have some free grease bottles. But of course, with water bottles, you could throw out water, make something wet, and zap them with Call Lightning or whatever. So use dexterity for melee weapons. This is literally, if you choose this, it's just like taking 1 level in Monk. So if you're proficient with a weapon like Adamantine Sword, this will be now a dexterity weapon. So that's pretty awesome. And yeah, there's just some exclusive exclusives like this guidance, Ranger's guidance, which is better than normal guidance, and I broke it. Apparently it's not supposed to stack with regular guidance. Anyway, but there's just a lot more choices, which again, like Paladin, I'm incentivized to stay and don't multi-class. You could be getting a whole nother, you could be getting the Rangers if you just stay to level 7, level 8, level 9, whatever. You could get more choices that just feel way better to choose, and the customization, all the ideas, right? Things like Hail of Thorns got better, at least in my opinion, if only because it's an instinct charge, that's pretty good, but the no bonus action is a huge change. You still get extra attack on this, always does some damage because it'll do half damage on the explosion, and again, you can upcast it using your instinct charges. And so again, the more I'm investing into my ranger levels, the more I get these instinct charges, the more I feel like this is where I should be playing Hail of Thorns if I wanted to build around that. Same thing with Ice Knife. What's unique about using it here as an instinct spell is it still triggers extra attack. So it feels like a normal attack. It's an instinct cast, so I can only use one of these, and then I can extra attack with a normal attack. So that's pretty cool. That's unique. I played a generic ranged ranger with a bow and arrow on the Hunter subclass with Colossus Slayer, and yet it felt good being a half caster, something I criticize Rangers for being because they seem so outdated and mundane compared to all the other options that are available, like Arcane Archer or Swordsbard. So I could already tell that I can make a lot of Ranger 12 builds really interesting, have new play styles thanks to the instinct and the new choices with, you know, getting Divine Favor or Ranger's Guidance or something. This is like, and the new spell choices. This is just flat out good. I just like this. Could it be tweaked? Sure. I don't know. I'm not here to criticize it. There's also a lot of cool stuff. Let's breeze through these. Origin classes. I did not get to play these, but I inspected this. Let's just say they only work for one level, right? After that, you have to multi-class out of them because they don't give you anything per level. And then designed around the Origin characters and their personalities and their starting class. A quick example is Shadowheart. Sort of feels like a cleric, level 1, but you have some unique perks to her based on being a Sharon, or Gale is basically a wizard, but even better. I don't know. He has some cool, really freaking powerful perks there. Karlach is a fire barbarian level 1, so like just check them out. I want to do a whole run using these. It's a very interesting concept. Level 2 feats, every character, if they stay at least 2 levels in their first 2 levels, they'll get a feat, right? So if they stay, like I said, with my Paladin, by level 2, I had Flight. This is bonkers, right? This is a bonkers example. I love it, but it's hilarious to be flying this early in the game, and Flight is a really broken ability if I don't have to concentrate on it or whatever. It really maximizes your movement and the verticality and what you can do with it. But it's fun, right? Like, whatever. We're here for a new experience. Speaking of a new experience, I love Vanilla Arcane Tricksters. I think they're great, but I was able to build a really unique one. And one of the cool things was I could actually cast 2 cantrips, so maybe 2 booming blades. I would have to trade out my sneak attack. Well, the way it works is if I'm willing to give up my sneak attack this round and I pass an Arcana check after throwing out a cantrip, I can do 2 cantrips. So you have to pass an Arcana check, which as a rogue with expertise, that should be pretty easy. Not all the time, but eventually at level 11, reliable talent. Dude, there's some really cool thinking here. I like this, right? So you lose sneak attack as a trade-off. Okay, that's a bummer, but that gives so much personality. I was saying Arcane Trickster and all the other thief or rogue subclasses need something unique to do with their sneak attack to give them even more power or just more personality. So I love this, and I gotta be frank, I'm not gonna pull any punches here. These are all freaking useless. After enough runs in honor mode, these are all useless. Sleight of hand, persuasion, I don't care what you say about face characters, it's all useless in combat to me. There's very few instances where something like performance on the harmonic dueler, yeah, sure, stealth when it comes to like broken greater invisibility builds, right? So let's get more builds, more abilities that use these. This is a great option. I love this. I don't care if it's the strongest thing. This is just what I'm looking for. That's so cool mechanically to me. Feats like Great Weapon Master are totally different. Or Great Weapon Master, it's a little reworked. Basically, it'll scale up over the levels. It's kind of based on your proficiency, and it'll go from like 1d4, 2d4, eventually 3d4, which is technically stronger than the old Great Weapon Master at its max level. Or something totally different, like I took Sharpshooter on my Rogue, so Sharpshooter, GWM scales, but Sharpshooter is entirely different. There's no 10 damage per range shot. You just get a new additional attack. It feels almost like the Gloomstalker attack, but you can use it every turn. You sacrifice movement, not bonus actions, not actions. You use movement as an action, and it's an attack roll, and you can do it once per turn, but you cannot dash. You can't like cheese it using dash. So if you have a lot of movement, you can actually use this thing, move a little bit, and then dash with like a rogue bonus action, right? So Tavern Brawler, I didn't get to use it, but it seems like it's more in line and reasonable. Oh, and on top of that, strength elixirs just don't work the same way. They add on to your strength. They don't end up replacing your strength. So we can actually still get to the vanilla strength levels. We were able to get to like 27 strength if we really push this guy, but it just basically adds on to strength. So you will have to build a strength character and then take steroids to enhance yourself a little bit more, but not outright swapping 10 strength for 27 strength. So that actually feels really good. And again, I think this is more of a balance change or just a fresher take, but I think it works. I like it. It's different, and it kind of makes me restructure how I think about builds. Channel Divinity, oh boy. Okay, so keeping this simple, there is a new feat that gives you another Channel Divinity charge. This is what clerics use every short rest. So that already was like, okay, so more Radiance of the Dawn, but it also gives you Zealous Wrath. Think Tempest Cleric. So maxing out damage, just like the Tempest Cleric, but it's any attack. So something like Flame Strike gets 78 damage guaranteed for using this ability. And you get one extra charge, which for me, it was like, oh boy, more Radiance of the Dawn on my Light Cleric. Reckless was another one. I can get a whole nother bonus action. Did I tell you this was an Arcane Trickster? But I get 2 bonus actions, right? Because there's a feat where you get 2 bonus actions, so you could stack this with Thief for 3 bonus actions and so on, right? But it lowers your saving throws. So I end up having a -3 to all my saving throws because of the trade-off of this feat. And haste is a really interesting to note. It's still great because it gives you a whole nother action, but it's more risky to concentrate on because it will lower your saving throws. That'll hurt your concentration saving throws. And there's no AC bonus to it, which I thought was a little ridiculous. This is great. I like this change. If I was looking for more balance changes, this is what I would be going for. Divine Favor. So amping up spells that usually suck. Divine Favor now lasts all turn. You'll see stuff like this with Elemental Weapon, Magic Weapon. It's still concentration, but now it lasts until Long Rest, which is just like, yeah, I mean, if I took Hunter's Mark, it's a spell, level 1 spell slot, bonus action until Long Rest, and that gives me 1d6 in my weapon. Why the hell doesn't Divine Favor do anything similar to that? Great change there. Cantrips in general, just to keep it simple, are a little bit different. I think they have a better baseline minimum damage is the whole point of this, but there are also a lot that change into bonus actions like True Strike, and of course Thorn Whip here was used a lot more. I just took this. I didn't think I would use it, but because it was a bonus action on a ranger and I had Clouded Daggers and Spike Growth and whatnot, I use this all the time. It was actually really good because it's never going to be the strongest cantrip, but you throw it out there for a little bit of damage or try to throw somebody off a cliff or whatever. Dude, this is way better this way. And I like that just small change. So yeah, there's better minimum damage. You'll see different changes with a lot of the cantrips. Basically, there's just way too much to even remember. Again, I love that. I discovered a lot of this stuff. I didn't even take notes for this video because I'm just kind of spilling my brains, like just putting all my thoughts out there from what I remember. And I remember it because I was enjoying this mod and seeing all this stuff. And just from mechanic things that nobody cares about, like the Arcana check on an Arcane Trickster to get 2 cantrips but trade out your sneak attack. I don't think a lot of people would be like, whoa, that's amazing. But mechanically, that's like, oh yeah, give me more of that stuff. That's so cool. But right down to the simple stuff like, hey, wait a minute. I'll use Thorn Whip now because it's just functionally like way better as a bonus action. Or hey, I'll build around Divine Favor because it makes a lot more sense and it's in line with things like Hunter's Mark. So it's great, obviously, go play it. Like, that's the whole point of this video. It's fun to just get away from the established best stuff, like builds that use Great Weapon Master and do 10 damage per swing in vanilla. So things like that are still good. They're just maybe scaled or totally different, but still fun and add more enticing options. And like I said, a lot of the feats, if I could go over all of them, they're just fascinating because something like Warcaster, I think, now gives you a half feat. So you could raise this charisma up to 18 and get advantage on casting concentration spells, right? Like, that's going to make you come out of your shell and choose more exciting, enticing options. Or hell, you can just fly now at level 2, bro. That's amazing. So both the half-caster classes, like I said, Paladin and Ranger, they just have really good reworks that I really appreciate. Paladin, I think, might be the best way to run a smiting character in this Overhaul mod, and spells just flat out don't compete with smites anymore. So even if you don't care about the new smite system or these smite spells, you could be focusing in on a Paladin that just uses their spell slots for Hold Person, Misty Step, Hunter's Mark, and you can still throw out a smite when you need some bursty damage. I love that, right? Then there's the Ranger. I think it has a lot more personality with the unique resource system of Instinct and the other tricks they get, like choosing the option to have grease bottles every day or using my weapon with Dexterity. So there's just plenty of surprises I didn't expect, like the Arcane Trickster having 2 cantrips per turn on an Arcana trick. And just more I have no idea about. I heard good things about Elemental Monk, which means there's so much more I need to discover and play, and I have to show on stream and just share the experience with you guys. But I want to dive back into it soon, and so yeah, I think you should play it. Was there any real criticism? Yeah, I'll tell you some criticism. Why the hell is Sacred Flame an attack roll? This is garbage. Look, now I have disadvantage because I'm this close to the guy. If it was a deck save, I could hit this guy with full accuracy. What the heck? No, I'm just joking. The fact that I could joke about, like, really, bro? You're mad that Sacred Flame is an attack roll? Yes, I'm actually hurt. But I'm sure everybody else would love changes like this. So I think largely you're going to find changes you really like, and if there is some pet peeve like I have with Sacred Flame, it's not really a big thing. But yeah, you're just going to be like, I don't care, I'll go play something. There's 100 new options now available. So I appreciate you guys watching. It's just me dumping my thoughts, getting it out while it's still pretty fresh in my mind. There's other fun videos I'll try and leave at the end on the left and right here in just a moment. But I do honor playthroughs, and I literally have a playlist of VODs when I was streaming the Chocolate Edition from level 1 to level 12, beating the brain on honor mode. I do it on live stream, YouTube and Twitch at the same time at your convenience if you want to come join us live. And for the members, I really appreciate you guys dropping an extra $1 on YouTube, supporting the channel. I try to throw you some extra content on there, but otherwise, I hope you got this far. I hope you had some fun just me sharing this with you, and I hope it inspired you to be like, I want to check this out. This sounds really fun. Whether you're on honor mode, explorer, tactician, whatever, I think you're going to have a great time. And again, a shout out to Creative Excuses Gaming. Go play Chocolate Edition.